Oh my god. How business chic do I look with my blazer? Oh god, I'm out of breath. Let's get on here. So we had to do a presentation in my gateway class. So stupid. Okay, number one. I have like a bunch of problems with this. First of all, the teacher interrupts us while we're presenting. I'm back. So the teacher interrupts us like every 5 seconds. You'll be talking like, can you put your eyes, look at everyone in the room. I'm blah, 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 blah. Or he'll be like, can you speak louder? Or he'll be like, wait. Now tell me an example about this. Just like, I think it's so rude, especially when your professor, like if you're asking us to present something, don't fucking interrupt. Like, first of all, students are nervous about public speaking. We are not allowed to read off the slides. We're going based on memory and practice. And when you interrupt, you like freak someone out, and then they forget what they're talking about, or they lose place, and like he's timing us. And I'm like, why the fuck are you interrupting if you're timing us? Like, oh, I'm so mad at this professor. I'm literally going to write an email to the head of the department saying, because I know if I email him directly, he's gonna like fucking give me an F, and I'm gonna be like, have a target on my back. Okay. I'm so angry. Like, he interrupted me. I was like standing off to the side. He's like, Logan, can you stand in the middle? And I'm like, dude, are you fucking kidding me? Okay, just getting on here because I'm a little stressed out now. Okay, no one has seen that I was at my car, so no one's stalking me yet. I really don't like tank tops, so I feel kind of uncomfortable that I'm wearing one right now. Someone's gonna get so lucky with this parking spot. Okay. But anyway, so my team didn't really like practice with each other a lot, which is fine. I think we did a good job. But one of my teammates, he was like reading, he was like, oh, can you give me an example? Can you give me an example? He was like, honestly, I didn't look super into it. Like, I can't give me an example. He's like, okay, on to the next slide. Like, it's so rude. Ugh. But if you've been following me and you know that when you were following me when I took that public speaking class, I think that was like a year ago, then you know how much I hate public speaking. I freaking hate it. I hate it. Oh shit. No, I want to exit. My school has like parking garages and they're such a pain to get out of, and now it's like really dark in here, sorry. I hate public speaking. Like, it makes me so nervous. My voice gets really shaky. I stumble. I kind of have a speech impediment, I think. Like, sometimes I can't form sentences. Like, everything, I'm sure I've talked about this over and over, but like, it sounds perfect in my head. I'm very articulate in my head, and then when I speak, I trip up on my words. I can't remember what I was trying to say. I mix certain words together. I stumble, I fumble, like, yeah. It's bad. But I mean, there's not really much I can do about it at this point. I'm 22, like, I just gotta deal with it. So public speaking for me is very nerve-wracking, and I get like physically, like, it physically makes me nervous. Like, my stomach is in knots. I can hear my stomach growling. It's like getting upset. I like shake, like I get the shakes, and it like physically affects me. So it's even, and the fact that it physically affects me, it makes me more nervous, because I know once I get up there, I physically look nervous, and then when I speak, my voice can get really shaky. But I did okay for like the first half of what I was saying, and then I kind of like lost track a little bit, and then my voice got shaky. I could hear it, but you know, I think I did fine. Luckily, this wasn't like something that I was presenting by myself. Like, it was a PowerPoint. We each presented one slide, so it was more manageable for me. Like, still not fun, still very nerve-wracking, but at least it wasn't like a 10-minute presentation by myself, like in public speaking class. That was horrible. But I think I got a B in that class, which I'm pretty proud of. But anyway, I just think it's, if you have those professors, you know what I'm talking about. They are just misogynistic narcissistic. They only teach because they like to be the smartest person in the room, and their main goal in life is to feel superior to everyone else. And what better way than to be a professor at a college when everyone is not as superior as you and you're the smartest person in the room, or so you think. I mean, I personally think that professors are no smarter than students. They just are older. Like, being old, here's my thing, like, being older does not make you smarter. No matter what, like, it just doesn't. Like, sorry. Like, yes, real world or life experiences you have more of, but a 23-year-old could have just as much real world experience as a 50-year-old, maybe not specifically in business, but in life. I mean, I really think that school isn't for everyone. Like, school is good for certain people. Like, I'm good at school because I can work the system. I know what the system wants. I'm good at standardized testing. I'm good at memorizing for the moment, but I forget everything. So school is good and bad for me because I'm learning in the moment, but down the line, like, I took business law 2 years ago. I couldn't tell you anything about business law, anything at all. One, because my teacher was horrible and only did definitions, and that's not going to teach me anything, but also because I got to be in that class, and I just did what he wanted. I didn't learn. I just did what was asked of me to earn the grade. And some people are really bad at school because their brain doesn't work that way. They're more visual learners. They learn by doing and not by just listening to someone teach them. And other people learn better in an internship. Like, I personally would learn, it's like, okay, pause. It's like when you're learning Spanish and you take it for 2 years and you really can't get the hang of it because you're in America, but when you spend that semester abroad in Spain, all of a sudden you're fucking fluent after 1 semester. It's because you're immersed in it. And that's the same with learning in any business or any profession. I think that internships are great because, I don't think they're great because you're not getting paid, and I think that's bullshit. But if you are getting paid, I think in New York they passed that law, you have to get paid if you're an intern. I think that is the ultimate learning experience for people. Being in an internship, being in a company where you're learning, you're not required to already know, but you're learning. That's how people should learn. And I think that's how school should be. Or, I guess maybe not that's how school should be, but I just don't think there should be such pressure on kids to go to college right away after high school. Like, I took a gap year. I went and traveled with my sister. I went to Australia. I went to Sweden, Germany, Italy, France, New York, all over. And I learned so much in that year about myself, about the way I learn, about how I interact with people, and about that specific industry I was submerged in, and especially about photography because I was surrounded by creative people all day long. And especially about how to travel, how different cultures interact, how like the world works as a whole, really. And I think that is so important. Someone who has traveled a lot when they're younger and took that gap year could be so much, maybe not necessarily smarter, book smart, but in the real world. So, okay, say, this is a great example. If this is boring, like, sorry guys, I'm going on a rant. This is a great example, I personally think. Say you're in a firm, okay, and say it's in accounting, and you have a new client, or say it's a marketing firm, and you have a new Japanese client that has hired your company because they have a firm in America and they want to do advertising in American and also maybe for the Japanese. Now, this is not like, whatever, don't criticize me on my freaking example. Say there's a 35-year-old, maybe she or he is new, maybe it's an intern, and say there is an executive who is 55, really thinks they're the shit. Now, this 55-year-old has not traveled to Japan, has not traveled anywhere. They went right off to college, right after they graduate high school, did the corporate ladder, blah, blah, blah. They make a great salary, blah, 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 blah. Now, say this 35-year-old or 30-year-old or the intern, they took a gap year or two, they traveled to Japan, they lived in Japan for a few months or a year at a time, and they really immersed themselves in the culture. Now, who do you think is gonna have better marketing strategy for that Japanese company? The 55-year-old executive who thinks he's the shit and did the whole corporate ladder thing and went to the best college and got the best grades, or the other person who had real world travel, actually lived in Japan, experienced the culture. Like, people don't get it. It's so annoying how parents just pressure you. College, get a degree, do this, gotta get a degree by your 23. I'm sorry, but most 23-year-olds I know that I went to school with, they graduated, and you know what? They're living in their parents' basement and they can't get a job. It's because they did it too quickly. They didn't have any experience. Alright, this was a very long rant. I'm getting a little heated, but like, it's so frustrating to me just to see this. Like, I hope, if I ever have children, I hope that I do not pressure them into doing something because it's the fucking norm. You know what I mean? Like, it's just so frustrating. Like, this is not how everyone learns. Like, everyone does not have one path in life. It might take someone a little longer to do what they're doing, but you know what? That like longevity will pay off in the long run. It's not always the short term like things we should be looking at. It's like the long term. Like, what if I get into a job that I hate? I'm 25, I get into this job, a desk job 9 to 5 that I hate. I hate it so much, but you know what? It makes good money. And I'm doing it for 5 to 10 years. Now I'm just a miserable person who's mean to everyone. I have children, I hate them because I'm just so miserable. Like, in the long term, sure, in the short term I'm making a lot of money, blah, blah, blah. I have a stable job, but you know what? I'm not happy. Like, that's what, sometimes I feel like, especially in America, we value money over happiness. I mean, it's like the ultimate question, like, would you rather be poor and happy or rich and miserable? Money doesn't buy happiness, or money more problems, you know, but it's whether you're happy doing what you wake up every morning and do. Like, I want to wake up every morning and be excited about what I'm doing and not being like, fuck, I have to go to class. Like, shit, I have to get up at 6 a.m., go sit in a lecture and just be talked at all day long and made to feel like I'm less superior because I am a student and you are a professor. I think it's so sad. I think it needs to change. And I will be the one to change it. I don't know how it's gonna change. It's gonna take a while. Hopefully by the time I have children, it changes. But I think people put down millennials so much, but it's because they don't understand. Like, we have found other ways to make money by doing things that make us happy. Often I think that people who criticize millennials are jealous because they see that we're kind of taking a different turn in our lives and they're like, oh, I wish I would have done that. But by combating that jealousy, they're putting us down. I mean, I'm a millennial, but I have great work ethic. I have good focus. Like, I work hard. Maybe it's not what the norm is. I mean, people's jobs are social media and people are like, oh my god, it's so easy. No, it's not. I mean, social media is marketing. Like, it's just different. Or bloggers. I mean, people are like, well, bloggers gonna stay home all day long and they just get to do whatever they want. No, they're documenting their lives. Or like a vlogger, they're documenting their lives, they're editing, they're marketing, they have their own business. Like, this is the world we live in. It's changing and people can't accept it. So they're just like, millennials suck, millennials this, millennials that. Like, take a second to like look around and see how everything is changing. Like, the millennials are changing the workforce. Like, you should probably pay attention and not just criticize. Okay, well, this is a very long rant, but I'm gonna go. I'm hungry. I wanted to stop at Chick-fil-A, but I have time to go home and eat before I need to be where I need to be.